Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another video, and we've got an interesting one for you today. This is, well, my parents' neighbors' sons and brothers' old Hot Wheels collection that she just has, and nobody really cares about it except for, of course, you know, me, and she thought I would like these cars. She said I could take any of these that I wanted, and maybe give her an idea of value if she's going to put them up in a consignment shop or something like that. So we're going to go through. I did peek at these, and there are some good ones in here. I know that. Kind of amazing, actually. We're going to check out the condition, all that jazz, but she pretty much said I could have whatever I wanted, and there are a couple in here that just might have to join the collection. So, long story longer, it was my parents' neighbor, which was my neighbor. My parents still live in the same house that I lived in as a boy. And, yeah, so we got three different cases here. And her son, I did hang out with a bit when I was a kid, not too much. We went to different elementary schools and stuff like that. We really didn't get to hanging out, actually, really oddly enough, until after high school. And actually, I haven't seen him in a while. Should probably say hi. But anyway, he has no real interest in these and all of that jazz. And his mom just thought I would like them, as she knows I have this YouTube channel where I'm crazy about 1/64 scale diecast, right? So we're gonna take a look at these. Like I said, I haven't really pulled them out of the case or anything like that. But right off the bat, like looking at this lineup right here, we've got some cool stuff. There's a Real Rider, the original '80s Real Rider right there. There's another one right there. Some of these other cars, and they do appear to be in pretty decent shape. So we're going to start with this case here. We've actually got three different cases to go through. So it might be somewhat of a long video. I'm just going to kind of tilt this back and set this down. And we'll just kind of pull these out one by one and check them out. So first thing we got here is a Matchbox garbage truck. It's an older super fast model. Refuse truck. Pretty cool. I think I've got some version of this casting, but look at the shape it's in. I mean, he might have not even really cared about his cars when he had them as a kid, because this is in pretty good shape. There's a flea bite up here. Doesn't look like he played with the garbage truck too much. So that's pretty cool. It's an older Matchbox. This is an older Hot Wheels. The copyright date on the bottom of this one is 1982. It's a Hong Kong base. And this is also a refuse truck, Department of Sanitation. And gosh, I mean, he must not have played with this like at all. There's a couple of flea bites here and there. You might not be able to see him very well. But I mean, the wheels aren't dirty. Like, just weird. Really cool trash truck. Hong Kong. I don't know if I've got this or not. If I don't have this, I might want this for my collection. I like the old black wall castings, and anytime I see them in good shape or like near blister pull shape, I try to grab them. This is a Malaysia base, the cement truck, Peterbilt. This one's in pretty good shape too. This doesn't quite close right here. That should be sitting down like that. It's in pretty good shape. It's got some flea bites and like the usual areas right there, right there, and right there. Other than that, it's in pretty darn good shape. Probably won't keep this one. Stake bed truck, Malaysia base, really good shape. Sunset Trucking. That's pretty cool. Kind of neat. This one, I think I've got this one in my collection. This is a Hightail hauler. It was the one that came in the extra set with this camper top thingy. We've got yellow motorcycles. I think there's like a rare variation of this with like maybe it's black motorcycles. I'm not sure. I'm not super well versed on vintage Hot Wheels, so if you guys see something that's like, oh wow, dude, that one's, that one's rare or whatever, a rare variation, let me know. I honestly don't. I'm not going to be able to call that out here because I just don't really know. This is in great shape. I will definitely check and see if I've got this or not. There's one little flea blight right here in the fender, and right there. Other than that, I mean, this thing is cherry. So this is the kind of condition that I like to see these things in when I put them in my collection. I usually don't put in too many played with cars in my collection just because I have too many cars as it is. Here's the Peterbilt dump truck. You got a crack right up here. That's unfortunate. Other than that, it's in really good shape. So standard Peterbilt casting. It's the same casting as the cement truck, just with a different rear portion. A couple flea bites again in the usual spots on there. We got edges. This is like the old number 5, I think is what this one was called. This one looks like it was played with a little bit. We got some flea bite edge. Base is really clean though. Ladder's a little bent up and stuff. But it looks pretty good. I think I might have this casting. I don't remember. This casting, I know I've got one of these. This is Super Van. Look how clean this one is though. I mean, literally, did he even touch this thing? Like, look how clean that is. This is the silver paint variation. There's also like a chrome variation of this. This is the newer of the two, I believe. And it's in real good shape. This is a casting that I do collect. There's a bunch that I'll probably never be able to get because they're just super expensive if you find them in good shape. So might have to just customize or something like that, or get a good custom of it, just to fill a hole in the collection, just to show it off. But yeah, this is really, really nice shape for that Superman. So here we go, Real Rider time. If I can get it out, it's kind of stuck in there. This Woody. So this one's got a Hong Kong base. It's got a high raker base. In pretty good shape. Wheels and tires are in pretty good shape. It's got a little flea bite right up here in the front. Some other spots right here where there's been some paint rubbing off the top. But other than that, again, in really good shape. And these old 80s Real Riders are really cool. I would love to collect a full set of the old Real Riders. I have quite a few of them. But there is some really hard to get pieces in that collection to make that complete. Ooh, the next one here. Oh, this is super cool. So this is another Peterbilt. This time with it's a tanker. This one looks like he played with it quite a bit, but the hoses are still intact back here. So that's pretty neat. This is heavy. The whole casting is metal, including the tank on the back. Malaysia base. That is a pretty cool piece. This is one of my faves. This Airport Rescue. I have one of these in my collection, and wow, did he keep this in great shape. It looks like it was just basically blister pulled. And he either really just took care of this stuff, which does not seem like him, knowing him. No offense if you're watching. Or he just didn't ever play with these. Just interesting. So, a couple of little nicks, but really nothing bad. And this is a cool casting. I have one of these in my collection actually as well. This big Airport Rescue Fire Department. It's a big, heavy chunk of metal. The whole thing's metal, and it is got some weight to it. This one right here. Ooh. That's odd. Here, check this out. There's an imprint from the tires. So I don't know if this got hot, stored in an attic or something. Luckily, though, the tires look to be in just fine shape. You could not see where those were sticking or made an impression there. We're going to leave this one out of that case, though. This one I'm going to take for my collection. Reason being, I do have this one, but I don't have it with the gray hubs. I have it with the white hubs, which actually I think the white hubs is the harder of the two to find. The Beach Patrol. But I think this one's going to enter my collection one way or the other. And it's in pretty good shape. There's some tampo issues right there, but nothing too bad. And like a flea bite here and there. But other than that, it's in really good shape, and it's a nice little truck. So, and I'm missing it for my collection. So this is going to be a score for me. All right, next is the Sunagon. This is a cool casting. I do have a minty one in my collection, and this one is not bad either. Really nice. Very, very cool. It's a cool casting, and this is in really good shape for it. It is played with a little bit. It looks like the axle might be bent a little bit, but nothing too bad, and really not much bad for flea bites. But these, these old Blackwell cars just really held up, stood the test of time. It doesn't look like it's hard to destroy them. Now, this is really surprising. So you got this Baja Breaker here, and I know there's a real rare, I think there's a real rare variation of this. I don't think this is it. I think I have this one in my collection. I'm not quite 100% sure, but I have to check. It looks like he never opened the hood, or if he did, maybe once or twice, but it's pinned down good. It's plastic. It's on just a plastic, hinge or whatever. So definitely not going to open that. You definitely shouldn't if you get one of these older Baja Breakers. Leave that hood shut. You may never get it closed again if you do open it. But yeah, that's really cool. So I'm actually going to set that one to the side. I need to look this one up because I know that's something to do with the banner color, and I think the banner's like brown or something on the rare one. Maybe it's blue, maybe it's brown. I don't know. Make more sense if brown would be the rare one, but I don't know until we look, and I will look eventually. And maybe I'm totally off base in even saying that. Here is a crane. This is cool. We got some neat little play value here with this one. It articulates. Doesn't really stay up at all, but it's got two positions basically. But still really neat, and definitely a cool one. I don't think I've got this one in my collection or not. I don't know. It's an older one. Construction crane, Mattel, 1981 is the copyright date. Which is odd. I mean, he's my age, so it's not like he was that old. I wonder where he got all these from. Here is a Larry's 24-hour towing. This is a cool piece, too. Like, literally looks like he never used it. This was supposed to be, I think, like this. To tow the vehicles. Like, that would be the position it might have been in the packaging, maybe. And then this. There's a little stress discoloration right there in the tow arm. I'm sure the tow arm was the first thing to go with these, but the tampos are quite good. It's got a chrome plastic base that looks like it's never been touched. It's just crazy. I'm going to set that one aside too. I want to check out if I have that one or not. All right, so that's this case. And we got a really small little case to look through. And it's just fun looking through these cars, and she was super nice to, she really wanted to show me these and was excited to show me them. So we got some interesting stuff in here. Old Matchbox Superfast. This one's pretty rough. Jeep Hot Rod, made in England. So I believe these were her brother's cars. Here's an interesting piece. Anybody know anything about these? Aurora Toys, cigar box, Willie's Gasser, made in the USA. It's got some like chromed sort of paint on it. Definitely an interesting little car. It might be worth looking up just to check it out. We got a bubble gunner. Appears to be in really good shape. Classic fantasy casting. Malaysia base. Pretty neat. We got a Dragon Wheels. VW Bug. I have one of these in my collection. It looks like it's missing the... I think there was a little stand thingy that held the body up. It's missing that piece. Other than that, it's in decent shape. We've got... This is in rough shape, but this would be really cool if it was in good shape. Gold Rides 80s Firebird. Axles all bent and stuff like that. It's got hot ones. It's all scratched up. These things are really easy to get scratched up and the paint to wear off on these chromed, whatever, gold paint jobs. They start to look too like silver over time and not quite gold. It's kind of where this one's at. And then another Gold Ride Camaro Z28. More gold on this one. Still got some scratches and stuff. This one was definitely played on. Pretty cool piece nonetheless. And then looks like we got a couple of red lines. So you got this guy here, Cougar. Windshield's in pretty good shape. The glass is in pretty good shape. Now, when you look at these old red lines, you kind of look at them almost like parts cars if they're missing wheels and stuff like that, or possible restorations, but this one is missing the hood. I think it should have came with a hood. I'm not a redline expert by any means, but it is missing the hood. It's got the old style bearing style wheels. So I know sometimes maybe parts can be hard. I know they do like remanufactured parts for these, but it's probably what this would end up being is a parts car to try to do a restoration on one. And then this one's in a bit better shape, but still you got bent axles and stuff like that. And this is a red line as well, silhouette. This is also the bearing style wheel, and also in the Spectraflame blue. But that's a pretty cool little red line there. Red lines are one thing I really never really cared that much for or collected. You know, mainly because my knowledge level on them is not good, and nor do I really care about them all that much. Just because I'm going to try to take these trays out of this. So this is an old Matchbox collector's case. We got some repeats in here. One of these is just like a pile of cars. We still have a lot to look at. So this is going to be, I don't know, a long video. So I apologize about that. Not so much, but we'll start going through these maybe a little bit quicker. Alright, so we got a pile of stuff. Days of Thunder. I remember these. These were Hardee's cars. I remember getting these in Happy Meals and being like super excited about it. Applause, Days of Thunder. That's actually really cool. I like that. Ferrari Testarossa Matchbox. Like a premium Matchbox with rubber tires and stuff like that. This one's not all that old. Serial Riders in here. Those I'm excited to unbury. Ertl Batmobile, classic. Had one of these as a kid. Probably had a couple of them. They made a lot of these. These are actually pretty easy to find. In good shape or otherwise. Here's one that's pretty cool. Look at that. Fall Guy truck. It's got a broken bar up front here where the light bar would be. That's been crushed in. It's too bad though because it's in pretty decent shape otherwise. Definitely kind of a cool truck. I would like to get one of these in minty shape at some point. Pretty cool. Little Erdl. This is a classic Majorette limousine. So I had one of these as a kid. It was silver. This thing's got opening doors in the back and the front. It's in 1/58 scale. It's made in France. It is an older unit. I don't think these are too terribly hard to find. I think a lot of kids had these that were my age, had these in their collection, no matter where you lived. If Majorette was available, you had one of these limos. Just super cool as a kid to play with one of these limos. It's got the sunroof, or moonroof, or whatever roof opening bit. This is a really cool piece. Inserted details for the headlights, too. No suspension on this one. Some Majorettes had suspension. And, this is in really good shape. That's really cool. I'm going to set that one aside, too. The Aries wagon. Boy, and this isn't just like blister pull condition. What is going on here? Hong Kong. I have one of these in my collection that is in probably this good a shape. It's literally almost a blister pull. This is such a cool little car. I'm going to keep this one separate just because we want to make sure we take care of it. It's in really good shape. I don't think it's like super valuable, but still cool. Oshkosh snowplow, classic. This one's definitely been played with. We've got, but not that much. I mean, it's got some dings and bent axle. Might be fixable. I don't know. It doesn't really roll. But I do have one of those in my collection. We got a tractor. Probably an Erdl. Maybe. I don't know. Kind of cool. Tractor. Definitely probably an early. Here, this is cool. It's a Tomica. So this is a Tomica Land Cruiser. It's got opening doors. A couple of little flea bites on it. There it is. Tomica. Probably a pocket car back in the day. Got suspension. Got the front little grill piece. That's the part that would be missing on some of these if you can't find a good one. But that's definitely kind of cool. Toyota Land Cruiser. Some Matchbox. Matchbox Corvette. These aren't too exciting, but they're kind of neat still. 80s Matchbox. AMG Mercedes. Opening doors on that one. Suspension. This one does not have suspension. These aren't super old. These are... well, I guess 84 is the copyright date on the casting, so I guess they ain't that new either. This is a cool Jeep. Blackwall Jeep. This one's got definitely been played with. We've got some flea bites and stuff like that. Ice cream truck. I know there's some crazy, weird, the dumb thing about this one, the different tampos or whatever, making it a rare variation for the people that are crazy about that stuff. It's in really good shape, almost blister pull shape. Got a little bit of flea bite right there. Other than that, there's not much wrong with it. We got another Real Rider, another one of these. Woodies. It's in pretty good shape too. Not bad. Might even be better shape than the other one. He had two of this one. Soft rubber tires, pretty cool. Here's a cool one. Cobra. Dang, that's in really good shape as well. Classic Cobra Real Riders. Now, they made this with both the gray hubs and white hubs, I believe. And I think the white hubs one is the one that's the difficult one to find. I definitely, I think, want to save this one, though. This one, I have it in my collection. I'm not going to keep it, but you can get a few bucks for that one if she wants to get rid of it. And then this one, also an 80s Real Rider, and also in fantastic condition. That's really cool, this old T-Bird. So I don't know if there's some weird variations of this one. I know there's probably a white hub and a gray hub. I think I've got both of them, actually. I don't know if there's one with a porthole or not. I think they all didn't have that. But wow, there isn't a nick on this thing. And she's in really good shape. I'm going to set that one aside just because I don't want to get it dinged up. I don't want to cause dings in it now. Open back truck. Matchbox. Older Matchbox. I've shown this in a video prior in one of my Matchbox Monday episodes. 57 Chevy. This was a popular one. I think I had one of these in my collection as a kid as well. This one does have a Hong Kong base. I don't know if they all did or not. It's older. It's cool. It's in pretty good shape. Got some rubbing, but not much wrong with that one. Super Van. Again, this is from the 80s, I believe, or maybe even late 70s. I do have a really good conditioned version of this. So that's a cool one. Definitely dig that one. Let's see here. Mantis, is that what this one's called? Older Ultra Hots. Nothing too crazy about this one. Just the fantasy casting, what have you. But still kind of cool. Hey, another one of these Hardee's cars. Superflow, Days of Thunder. And I so remember being excited about getting these cars in Happy Meals when I was a kid. That's really cool to see. And what is this? It's like a Z Toys or something. It looks like it's pretty close to that same Hot Wheels casting that we just saw, the crane. Hong Kong on the base, so it's old. That's neat. Anybody know anything about that? Let me know. Another tow truck, super fast, Matchbox, Esso, in good condition, made in England. And that's an old one. Usual crunch here on the cherry on top. That's typical. That's where these things are going to get damaged, even in like cases like these. VW Rough Rabbit. I believe I have this one in my collection as well. Cool off-road lifted rabbit. Wow, we got a lot to go through. We got to start speeding this up a little bit. Little Jeep Golden Eagle. Kind of cool. Cool little Matchbox. We're already at 27 minutes. Let's continue. Truck. I've got this one in my collection as well. It's a cool one. Cool little Matchbox. Let's get this out of the way. We got 2 more trays to go through, guys. Well, we'll do these real quick in succession. We've got these guys. Not much to write home about them, but obviously he liked them because these were played with. These actually got some playtime. So as his kids, he liked those fantasy castings and stuff like that. So these would be right up the alley there. And then this, we got a Sunagon again. This time the blue one. Little flea bites down there. Taking some quick looks at that. There's the base, Malaysia. Again, I've got both colors of these. I've got the orange one and the blue one. I've got really good examples of, so won't be taking those. This one is pretty cool too. Little black wall. I had one of these when I was a kid. I remember it. A little teetotaler. It's kind of a cool casting. Hot rod kind of deal. Another bubble gunner. Geez, this one's in better shape than the other one. The other one was in really good shape. No toning on the base, but wow. That's an old one too. Woo! Look at this guy. That's fresh looking. So that's the same one we just saw. Taking a drink. But wow. C28 Golden Machine. And that's in really good shape. That's cool. That's really cool. I'll set that one aside. XR3. So what, Ford Escort? Yeah. This is in really good shape too. Wow, this is one of those cool castings where they put like headlights in there. It's part of the window. I gotta see if I have this one or not. I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. If I don't, I'm probably gonna grab this one. It's just kind of a cool car. I don't think it's like terribly valuable or anything, but it's neat to me. Let's see. This guy, not too excited about that guy. I don't even remember the name of this casting. It's kind of cool, I guess. And then this one here, see, played with this one quite a bit. Bent axles. He liked those. He was into that stuff. Crazy Red Baron Bug. That's just a crazy old Matchbox. I have one of those. Here's another cool fantasy casting from Matchbox. What was this one called? The Super Koopa. Super Koopa! Look at that thing. Not very aerodynamic. catching air back there, especially if you had a window back there. This thing's in fantastic shape, though, for how old it is. And then this one looks pretty cool. Another kind of fantasy super fast casting. The Harry Hustler. This one's got stickers, not tampos on it. Actual decals or stickers. And it's in pretty darn good shape, too, for how old it is. Definitely an older Matchbox. The copyright date on the bottom of this is 1971. So she's old and pretty neat. All right. We got one more tray to go through, guys. One more tray. And I see something right on top that we need to save before it gets damaged. And that's this guy right here. She's got some gold left on her. Soul Firebird. Golden Machine. I don't think I've got this one, so I'm probably going to try to add this one to the collection too. It's in pretty good shape. Graphics in good shape. Wheels are in good shape. Yeah, that one's really cool. You can tell though the difference in the look how much more gold that is compared to that. I don't know if that was normal, but these things, I don't know, as you like touch them and stuff like that, they seem to turn to just chrome. Hey, it's a color shifter Ferrari Testarossa. That's cool. This would be really cool if it was in mint shape. Obviously, you played with it quite a bit, and that's normal for color shifters. The paint doesn't tend to, it seems to not really hold up that much, or maybe it's just because kids play with them more than others. But that's still pretty cool. I think I have one that's in pretty good shape in my collection already, but this is cool. Ferrari 308, Race Bait 308. The stance on these was always wacky. It's like a boat, like a gasser stance. But it is an original 80s Real Rider, so that is pretty cool. Kind of a neat one. I do have one in my collection, but man, this is in pretty darn good shape. The stance is pretty bad on this one, though. That wheel gap in front is irritating. If you were trying to take pictures of it, it would be like this. This one, Fendered 40, I think that's what this is called. Or no, 40 Ford two-door. Fat Fendered, I think it's the same casting, right? It's an older Blackwall. Pretty good shape. Decent. Not bad. Mazda RX-7 with a body kit. I don't know if I've got this one or not in Matchbox. I want to say I do, but look at how wide that thing is. It's super wide. I'll have to check that out. It's got like almost RWB Porsche wideness to it. And then we got this guy, little dumper. This is a Z Toys. So that's kind of cool, kind of unique. Z Toys, you don't see them in great condition too often. This one's not in bad condition. It was definitely play with. Got some flea bites here and there, but pretty decent still. What was this one called? The Landlord. Lord of the Land. And yeah, pretty cool old Blackwall. This one's cool. Peugeot 505. I think I've got a mint, like blister pull example of this car in my collection already. It's kind of one of those cool ones, though, that I think was like a international release only or whatever. So you may have been, I don't know. I could be way off. Hong Kong base. Really cool again. This one's got part of the base is actually makes up the headlights. That's just a cool one. Definitely neat. Let's see here. 57 Chevy. I think everybody had one of these in their collections growing up. They grew up in the 80s. Super cool. Flames and stuff like that. That one's pretty common, I think. This is pretty neat. This is a Lamborghini Countach. And it's in pretty good shape. Now, the neat thing about it is the rarer variation of the original release of it that has the hood tampo. They're all off-center like that as far as I know as well. Mine's off-center. I have one of these in my collection, and it is off-center. But this is a more rare release. I don't think it's like terribly expensive, but it's less common to find it like this than the one without the tampo. Much more common to find the one without the tampo. So that. This is pretty cool. Martini Porsche. 911. We got some flea bitage, but nothing too bad. That's an Erdl. So that makes it kind of interesting. Definitely an interesting little car. I like collecting some of these little off-brand older vehicles, which is kind of neat. Just because you don't see them too often. Usually when you do see them, they're shredded. Like just in terrible condition, but this one is fairly decent, so I'm going to set that one aside for now. Another one of these Hardee's cars, the mellow yellow one, probably the most popular of the Hardee's cars. Coal Trickle, mellow yellow car. Really cool. Man, I had so many of these as a kid. So many Hardee's. We had a Hardee's that's real close to my house. It's not there anymore. Actually, it was the first job I ever had when I was 14. When you could still work at a place like that when you were 14. I don't know if you can do that now. But yeah, I worked at Hardee's for a month. All right. And then I was fired. But that's another story. Just because I probably wasn't real ready for the workforce. All right, here's this. Beat up dump truck. Matchbox. Pretty cool. You get an idea when you go through these collections and stuff like that. You kind of get an idea of what the person liked by how worn out the cars are. So this one's pretty worn out too. So he liked this one. He thought this one was cool. Solaire CX1, which is interesting because it's totally different from what your taste would be today, maybe. Because I mean, Porsche 911, that would have been the one I would have played with. That's in really good shape too. It's a pretty easy car, I think, to find. I think that. But really, really nice little slant-nosed Porsche. Looks really good. I like it. Field car. This is a cool old Matchbox. Kind of neat. And they re-released this car. Or kind of retooled this tooling. Sort of. But it's an old Superfast. This is kind of neat. Taking that. And then what else we got? We got two left, I think. We got a 55 Chevy, color shifter, definitely played with, chipped up, all that good stuff. But pretty nifty nonetheless. And then lastly, a Ferrari Testarossa. And this one's pretty chipped up too, but initial release in red with a tan and red interior. So pretty cool nonetheless. So I think the coolest find really, I mean, these gold machines being in pretty good shape, those are kind of tough to find. And then that Pathfinder is really cool. Those are my picks. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Another really, really long video, so I apologize about that. But, hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, oh well. But thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day.